Hi, my name is Jason Koff, and I'm an associate professor at Tennessee State University. I'm out here in my garden today. We're going to talk about the garden, but specifically, we're going to talk about the soil. I know a lot of folks are interested in getting into their garden with all the nice weather we're having, and we're going to really focus on the soil health of your garden. So, we're going to talk about some things that you can look for and some different ways that you can improve the health of your soil so that you can have a sustainable and beautiful garden. All right, so here I've dug up some of the garden and you can see the soil that I've pulled out. Basically, you can see we've got some nice organic layer here at the top. So this garden I turned about 4 years ago, but since then I've basically just been planting right into the soil, using some mulches to try to amend the soil and improve it. And so I haven't had too much tillage over the past 4 years, and you start to redevelop some of that structure. And also with adding organic matter, you get some of these dark colors that you see. You also get some nice soil structure. So if we look at this, if we pull it apart a little bit more, we can see we've got some of these nice granular structure that you really want to see when you're working with the soil. And this is basically a good indication that you've got a nice healthy soil. Also the color, of course, the darker organic color, you can see it's even a little bit more darker brown in this area, and then it starts to get a little bit lighter. Also, you can see the presence of roots. So the roots indicate that the soil is not too compact or anything, and so the roots can actually get into the soil. So again, these are kind of some of the things you want to see in your soil when you're looking at roots. You want to see the roots holding on to these aggregates of soil, so you can see they're kind of all connected. The roots are actually helping to create some of those aggregates, some of those clods that we see in the soil. And that basically allows for better movement of things like water and air that are in the soil, because it helps create a little better pore space. And those pore spaces are going to stay there even under conditions of high rainfall or those kinds of things. And then, of course, you really want to be able to see a lot of those earthworms in the soil. And so basically, if you've got about 10 earthworms per square foot area, then that's a good indication that you've got some good biology going on. That's a good indication that conditions are right for growth, and for not just for the animal life, but then also, of course, for the plant life that you're going to be putting in the garden. Now, when we talk about soil health, we want to keep these soil health principles in mind. And these soil health principles are established by the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service. And basically, you can see with the four soil health principles, they focus on some different things. They focus on minimizing the disturbance to the soil and also maximizing soil cover. And then on the left-hand side, we've got maximizing the presence of living roots and maximizing biodiversity. So the left side there is basically focused on feeding the diverse microbiology or biology that's present in the soil, and providing continuous inputs to that biology. So this could be in the form of different types of carbohydrates, which obviously are going to provide energy to the microbes, and then those microbes then are going to be able to release nutrients by breaking down organic matter and providing that to the plant roots. On the right hand side, we're basically about protection. And so we want to protect the habitat of that microbiology and biology that's there in the soil, through the formation of the aggregates that I talked about before, and also by providing enough organic matter, which can really help to provide this protection. It can act as a soil buffer. It can help to reduce some of the effects of compaction and soil loss and erosion. So there's a number of things that organic matter can do that's going to be useful. So these are the soil health principles, and like I said, these are the things you want to keep in mind when you're working in your garden to try to enhance these things as much as possible. So how do we do that? So suggestions are the four that I've got on this slide. So the first is no-till. And the reason we want to try to reduce tillage as much as possible, because of course you've got things living in there, the earthworms. You've also got fungi that are present in the soil. And when you till up the soil, you break apart all these fungal hyphae, which are basically really tiny strands of this microbe that extend beneath the surface across, maybe your whole garden. So trying to reduce the tillage is going to reduce some of the effects or the negative impacts on the microbes that are there, and it'll also reduce things like erosion and compaction as well. Rotating the plants in the garden is a good idea because that can reduce the amount of pests or weeds that are associated with that particular crop, and it can also affect the nutrients that are in the soil as well. Using cover crops is a good idea just because this can help to provide a number of benefits. It can help to feed the microbes, like we were talking about before. It can also help to create a weed barrier to help promote the growth of the plants that you want there. And then, of course, it can protect the soil in the winter. It can help to prevent erosion of the soil, but then also loss of nutrients as well. And then the last thing is organic matter inputs, which I already talked about before. Organic matter is really key to buffering the soil, maintaining a good soil pH, maintaining nutrients, and it's also a pool of slowly solubilizable nutrients to the plant roots. And then it can also help with the structure of the soil and maintaining good water flow and actually being able to hold on to water during periods of drought conditions. So like I said, there's a number of benefits that organic matter can provide. So that's all I have for today. If you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is there. And thank you very much.